Power dialers for B2B, supercharging lead gen efforts. Why the phone still wins in B2B outbound. If your SDRs feel busy all day, but the calendar still looks light, the problem usually isn't effort, it's throughput. In many B2B orgs, cold calling still drives a meaningful share of pipeline, with roughly 51% of leads coming from cold calls in some studies. That's why the best cold calling services and outbound sales agency teams don't abandon the phone, they modernize it. The reality is that cold calling is a volume game and a quality game at the same time. Across large B2B datasets, average dial-to-meeting performance can sit around 2.3%, while optimized teams reach 6.7% by combining better targeting, better execution, and better systems. Even with those averages, the opportunity is real. Around 82% of buyers say they at least occasionally accept meetings from proactive sellers. So the phone isn't dead, it's simply unforgiving when your workflow is slow, your data is messy, or your reps spend too much time on admin. This is where power dialers earn their keep, especially for an SDR agency or sales development agency that needs consistent activity, clean logging, and repeatable coaching. The goal isn't to sound automated, it's to remove friction so reps spend more time in real conversations. What a power dialer really is and what it's not. A power dialer is outbound calling software that automatically moves to the next number as soon as a rep completes a call, while keeping the rep live on every answered call. In practice, that rep always live detail matters because it avoids the dead air experience prospects associate with spammy systems. For B2B cold calling services, that control is the difference between scaling conversations and scaling complaints. The key distinction is the dialing model. Power dialers operate in a one-to-one relationship between rep and outbound attempt, while predictive dialers can place multiple calls per available rep to maximize talk time. Predictive dialing can fit high-volume transactional environments, but in B2B, where list sizes are smaller and brand trust matters, those dropped call and delay risks are expensive. If you're running B2B cold calling services or telemarketing for high-consideration deals, faster only helps if it stays human. This is why we recommend designing your dialer program around outcomes, not activity. Dials are table stakes. Connects, meetings, and pipeline per rep hour are the real scoreboard. When you define success that way, power dialers become a system for consistent execution rather than a brute force volume machine. The productivity math, turning more dials into more meetings. Cold calling is constrained by probability. If the average live connection rate is about 16.6%, then roughly 1 in 6 dials becomes a real conversation, and only a fraction of those conversations become meetings. That's exactly why most teams underperform with manual dialing. Dead time between calls quietly caps the number of at-bats a rep can take. With a well-configured power dialer, vendors report that reps can increase call volume by 3 to 4x and lift connect rates by up to 32%. That doesn't magically fix messaging or targeting, but it creates far more opportunity to learn, iterate, and book meetings in the same workday. For sales outsourcing or an outsourced sales team, that efficiency is often the fastest lever to pull before hiring more headcount. The point of the math isn't to worship volume. It's to show why dialers work when they're paired with disciplined execution. More attempts create more feedback, and more feedback enables better coaching, better scripts, and better lists. That's how a B2B sales agency builds a reliable outbound engine instead of hoping one-off hero reps save the quarter. Set the foundation: data, CRM sync, and caller ID reputation. Before you scale outreach, Lock in the fundamentals that protect performance. If your dialer doesn't bidirectionally sync with your CRM, you'll lose activity history, misattribute outcomes, and coach in the dark. We like to treat the dialer as the system of record for SDR activity. Every call logged, every outcome standardized, and every note captured in a consistent structure. Caller ID reputation is the other non-negotiable foundation. Roughly 25% of legitimate business numbers are at risk of being mislabeled as spam or scam, and once that happens, answer rates can collapse fast. For B2B cold calling, you want a dialer that supports number registration, branded caller ID where available, sensible pacing rules, and carrier-friendly authentication, including stir-shaken via your telecom provider. This is also where teams often make the speed-only buying mistake. A dialer that dials quickly but can't enforce DNC workflows, disposition standards, or clean CRM logging will scale the wrong behavior. If you're serious about building repeatable cold call services, in-house or through a sales rep agency, choose software that helps you scale safely and measurably, not just aggressively. A power dialer isn't a speed tool. It's a conversation engine that turns rep hours into pipeline without sacrificing trust. Roll out a 30-day pilot that proves ROI. The fastest way to implement without breaking your process is a controlled pilot. Start with a small pod, typically 2 to 3 reps, one ICP segment, and clear KPIs that measure the full funnel, connect rate, meetings per 100 dials, and pipeline created per rep hour. Keep a control group dialing manually so you can compare the dialer's impact on both productivity and outcomes. During the pilot, standardize outcomes so your reporting isn't a mess. If one rep marks nurture and another marks follow-up, your dashboards become opinion instead of evidence. Make dispositions mandatory on every call and ensure the fields map cleanly into your CRM so RevOps can measure what's actually working by list source, persona, and talk track. Finally, align call blocks with high-intent windows and back them up with multi-channel touches. We typically see better results when teams concentrate dialing into mid-morning and mid-afternoon blocks, for example, 10 to 11 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. in the prospect's local time, and pair each call with email and LinkedIn follow-up. A power dialer should sit at the center of this sequence, triggering the right next step while your reps stay focused on conversations. Common mistakes that tank results and how to fix them. The biggest failure mode is treating the dialer like a brute force volume machine. When teams blast huge lists, they create short-duration calls, low-quality signals, and more negative carrier analytics, exactly the pattern that can get numbers flagged. The fix is tighter ICP lists, realistic dial caps per number, and performance measurement that prioritizes conversations and meetings per 100 dials over raw activity. The second mistake is rolling out the dialer without data hygiene and CRM discipline. Dirty data means reps burn cycles on bad numbers, non-ICP contacts, and duplicate records, and the dialer simply makes that failure happen faster. Clean and enrich your CRM first, enforce consistent fields, and require clean logging so managers can coach with context rather than guesses. The third mistake is over-automating your message. Prospects can hear a robotic opener instantly, and faster rejection isn't progress. Use automation for the busy work, logging, follow-ups, reminders, while training cold callers to personalize the first 20 seconds based on role, industry, and a credible reason for outreach. Optimize like a pro, coaching, analytics, and AI that aims. Once the dialer is stable, improvement comes from coaching and iteration, not more grind. Review call recordings weekly, tag the moments that create meetings, and turn those into small, repeatable changes, openers, questions, objection handling, and voicemails. When you pair that coaching with dialer analytics, You can find patterns by persona, industry, and time of day instead of relying on anecdotes. AI helps most when it aims capacity, not when it simply accelerates dialing. With projections that 75% of B2B companies will use AI for cold calling by 2025, the advantage shifts to teams that use AI to prioritize who to call, when to call, and what to say. The right setup can surface account insights, recommend best call windows, and highlight the next best action while keeping the rep in control of the conversation. This is also where multi-channel becomes a real force multiplier. When your dialer and CRM can orchestrate calls alongside outbound email and LinkedIn touches, each answered call starts warmer and closes faster. If you're also running a cold email agency motion or layering LinkedIn outreach services, keep everything logged in one place so you can see which sequence combinations actually drive meetings. Decide. Build in-house or partner with a specialized team. Power dialers are a tool, not a strategy. If you have strong internal leadership, clean data, and the time to build coaching and QA, an in-house team can work well. But if you need pipeline now, or you don't want to hire SDRs, manage telecom compliance, and build reporting from scratch, partnering with a specialized cold calling agency can be the more predictable path. At SalesHive, we've seen the dialer perform best when it's paired with the right inputs: verified data, targeted lists, trained reps, and tight operational discipline. Since 2016, we've booked 100,000 plus meetings for 1,500 plus B2B clients by combining professionally trained SDRs with an AI-powered calling platform, including our own SalesHive Power Dialer. That combination is what turns more dials into meetings you'd actually want your AEs to run. Your next step should be concrete. Pick a single ICP slice, define success metrics, and run a 30-day pilot that measures dials, connects, meetings, pipeline. If the numbers prove out, scale responsibly with caller ID hygiene, CRM rigor, and weekly coaching baked in. Whether you build internally or outsource sales to a proven B2B sales agency, the winning approach is the same. Treat the dialer as infrastructure for better conversations, not a shortcut around them.